Hello, Gabrielle. It's Tuesday.
Hello.
It's Twin Flame Tuesdays, you all. So Gabrielle and I are wound up. It is we are just love Twin Flame Tuesdays because we get to hang out together and play.
I know. In different locations or the same location.
A different location or the same location. We're going to talk location at the end of the show, but um, today we are going to be talking about going through or growing through. We are going to talk about that. But first, neither one of us has really had time to do our grounding and centering and all of that. So we're just going to take a minute and do that and let everybody just join us, right? And I've got my dolomite. Am I saying it correctly? That I ordered because it was speaking to me at the museum last week. We were walking by the case, and I'm like, Gabrielle, there's something here that I walk by and it like stops me in my tracks. And you're like, it's this one. And so we went up, and sure enough, it was. And they didn't have any to sell, so you got me this piece through your supplier, and it came last night. And I tried to like set it on like the back of my desk, and it literally spoke to me and said, closer. And I'm like, I have got a bossy crystal. So
She said she wanted to be closer.
it wanted to be closer, and so we can talk to some about what this crystal does after let's ground though, and that's what the crystal helps do. One of the things. So yeah. So if y'all are ready, let's just relax for a moment and drop into our heart spaces. And what we're going to do is we're just going to let the light shine down, come down through all of your chakras, starting with the stellar gateway, the soul star, the causal chakra. Feel it coming on down. Bright, golden, white light, unconditional love, flowing down now, brighter and brighter. Now down through the crown, the third eye. You can feel it coming. Now the throat chakra, and the high heart, and the heart. Feel it expanding through the heart. Now the solar plexus. You can feel it expanding there. Now the navel and the sacral. You can feel it expanding there. Now our root chakra and our earth star, and grounding us all the way to Mother Earth, who invited us here, who accepts the light once again, because this is our very beingness, as we are open to and allowing it to come in. And Mother Earth now holds it tightly, grounding us to the core of the crystalline grid, and we just let the light come in. You can feel the bright light shining down, grounding you. The light comes down, and you can feel it expanding outward as well. Now, engulfing you. So it's coming down, connecting you to Mother Earth, and spreading out, surrounding you. Unconditional love, your very beingness. Balancing, centering, rotating, calibrating each of the chakras as it comes through. Your divine feminine, divine masculine energy being balanced. Mother Earth holding you tightly. protective field, like a warm, loving glove surrounding you. And now we have more energy coming back up, being projected back up from Mother Earth, coming up to our heart space. As we realize all we have been, all that we will be, and all that we will experience. And we show gratitude. And we send love and light to all those we know and we don't know, for the best and highest good of all the world. And so it is, and so it is, and so it shall be. Namaste. I know, I was a lot of energy coming in.
I know, and you weren't even outside. I just felt Mother Earth. She was sitting a warm breeze, just reassuring that she's there with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
This crystal grounds us, it comforts us, it brings ease, balances our emotions, opens our heart chakra. It's one of the things that we found when I looked it up. It's for those who live alone. It brings tranquility and like love and affection and inspiration and solace, and to those who live alone. I mean, it's literally a stone for one who lives alone. And last night, I got this out of the mailbox when I got home. She had messaged me about it. So I got it out of the mail, opened it up. It was sitting here, insisting on sitting close to me. I was meditating with Annette, and I said, I'm going to the zoo. And Annette goes, what? I said, I love zoos. There's a zoo in this town, and I've not been to the zoo. And she's like, okay. Gabrielle, if she wants to do Twin Flame Tuesdays at the zoo next week. And so, but I had no clue, that, and then I'm like, there's all kinds of museums in this town. I love museums. I'm going to the museums in this town, so I had no clue, but just all of a sudden it was just this whole, what am I doing? I'm getting out. I'm going to see what's here. Which is me anyway. I mean, that's what I do anyway, normally, but it's not, as you know, not what I've been doing. Of course, I got sick, I've been going through, I'm still got the scars. I'm still, still healing, but, and I have to go at a pace I can go and all of that. But it was like, you need to go to the zoo. I mean, seriously, it was, I said, I need to go to the zoo. It was like, and she's like, what? I said, something just said, go to the zoo. And, which I'm used, I'm clairaudient and I'm used, but it was a different voice. Well, it was the same voice that said closer. It was this stone, So this crystal is like, well, one is bossy. But it's an amazing crystal. So I've already had people calling me this morning and saying, so you got a new crystal. And I'm sending them pictures of it, and they can feel the power of it over the phone, which of course is how we ordered it.
Yeah.
When you pulled it up, I said, I want that one. And you said, well, you're in luck. It's the only piece he's got. And I said, good, because I want that one.
Yeah. I want to say something in regards, because when you just said that brought up so much. We talked about the inner child meditation that we did last time. What I hear is your inner child coming out.
Oh yeah.
She's coming out to play, and that crystal is bringing out. It's not really. I really feel more of a inner child energy from that crystal. You should look more into it and see if it says anything about the inner child.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel like it's how children are. They can be bossy. Like no, come here. You know how children are. They can be bossy.
Yeah, it is bossy. This crystal. I mean, none of my crystals talk to me, and everything in its brother talks to me, and I know people are like, okay, we're moving off this show now. Well, we don't resonate with you then. We just don't resonate with you if that's I mean, I'm drawn to crystals. I feel their energy, all of that stuff. I don't have any of them that say closer. I don't have any of them that say you need to go to the zoo. I love this crystal.
Yes.
I've already had one person that was on the phone with this morning said, send me a picture. They literally pulled over on the side of the road on their way to work and said, hold on, I got to pull over. Whoa, the energy
Yeah.
on this crystal. I mean,
Yes.
that is how, yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And we're my effluent from the zoo. Yes, folks, I know
Yeah.
it's elephant. I know. I've always called them effluents. It's
Yes.
a thing I do. So that's the inner
Yeah.
child in me too.
Yes, little child. Yeah, and it's beautiful. That's beautiful. So that when you said you couldn't really just explore, you're getting into that energy now of wanting to explore, wanting to be that inner child. The inner child wants to come out and have fun and do new things and go places and stuff like that. So when you said in the meditation it was hard for you to embody it, you're actually embodying it now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just, of course, I've been clearing a lot of stuff
Yeah.
still too that is helping with that.
Yeah.
I've had some more clearing work done,
Mhm.
more, more things being released. And as we do this stuff, you and I talk about how, and this is something that the practitioner I've been working with that we talked about, as much as we do ourselves, we still need that mirroring. That's why you and I work together, and why twin flames need to work together. They need to get to that conscious awareness of, no, let's don't repel one another because we're mirroring, but let's and triggering, but let's use that as our quantum leap here, because that is the very people we seek out to help us, is because we need that mirroring. Because as much as I've known what energies were there or had a clue about them. I feel them because I feel them with other people. But when it's your own, it's just like when you're a doctor, you don't write your own scripts.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need that mirroring. You need that. And I literally was told last night afterwards when I was doing meditations in with Annette, I was told, you've removed so much of this yourself, but you've exhausted yourself doing it. You had to have help getting the rest of it, you know. And so, I mean, there were generational curses, and I mean things
Yeah.
that they were heavy,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
had to be very grounded myself while these were being lifted. And
Yeah.
it was a very and I'm still integrating that all that happened. I mean, um I literally left the camera and went into the bedroom and just literally just fell apart,
Yeah.
and then came back, and it was like, go anywhere, I'm right here. And I'm like, well, I knew you wouldn't go anywhere, but I wasn't gonna fall apart right here either,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um, and it didn't last long, and it doesn't last long,
Yeah.
because we now we spiraled up. And
Yeah.
so, whereas a year ago I
Yeah.
probably would have cried for hours,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was less than 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I told you. Yeah.
yeah, but it was gut wrenching. I
Yeah.
mean, it was like, it was literally wailing,
Yeah.
and it was like uncontrollable wailing. I mean, it was this pain that was just like, there was, and it's not like the first time I've done it.
Yeah. Of course.
I've done much of it on my own, much of
Yeah.
that work on my own.
Yeah.
But we do spiral out of it faster and faster. And you notice I said spiral, and I'm doing
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
because as we heal and as we become higher and higher vibrational, and again, it's that higher doesn't mean better, it just means out of denser energies, we do heal faster. So this is something to, don't be afraid of, and don't think, oh my God, I don't want to go through that. It gets easier.
Yeah.
Well, easier may not be the right word. It gets faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
I think easier too. Easier is the right word, because you have a different perception of it now.
you
You're
do.
not the energy. You're not going. I ask people all the time in my lives: are you going through it, or are you going through it? If you're going through it, it's taking you through the trenches. You don't see another way out. You don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. If you're going through it, you're seeing everything is working out for you in divine order. You're knowing that I got to process this. I'm feeling these emotions, feeling this energy. I'm glad to be releasing this. I'm glad it finally came to the surface for me to release. And then I can go ahead on and transmute this energy and use it for my highest good. So it's a different energy. So it does get easier, because even though you're dealing, and actually it's funny because at this point of evolution of where we are, it gets to the work is harder. It's harder work because you're doing generational curse work. It
Yeah.
first starts off as just doing your own internal healing work, whatever you've had to deal with in this lifetime or whatever lifetime. Then, but it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. It gets to those ancestral wounds, those other wounds, and so with the level of awareness and bandwidth that you have, that you always talk about, the energetic bandwidth that you have a better understanding of how to navigate this energy. So it does get easier. I'm not saying that you're not going to feel the emotions and feel the
Yeah.
gut wrenching stuff, but you have a different perspective and you understand it more. So when you understand something more, you're able to move through something more.
Right. It was the same practitioner that called this morning to check, and
Yeah.
and I was like, oh yeah, I went to blues night last night. You did what? Of course, and I'm like, yeah. I said, because I immediately when we got off, I had like four messages. Are you coming or not? Are you coming or not? And I'm like, well, I wasn't going to. And it's like, why not? And I'm like, yeah, why not? Why am I not there?
Yeah.
Why am I not there? Because that's what I do. It's on my calendar. As a matter of fact, I had a standing appointment with this practitioner. We not usually for the reason that it was like yesterday, but it's usually wrapped up in time for me to go to Monday Night Blues.
Yeah.
Last night we knew we were going to do this healing work specifically. It was like, okay, this Monday night is all about you. You don't get back out of it. It's all about you.
Yeah.
I managed to postpone that for about the first hour of the session.
Yeah.
I managed to talk about everything else, but not on purpose. It was because those were things because those things are about me too. Because as you know, I have a crew, and my dealing with the crew is about me, and so it was all of that stuff, and so we were working up to that, and so. But yeah, we got done, and it was like all these messages, like, "Where are you? Where are you? Why are And I'm like, "Why am I not there?"
Yeah.
So I went and fixed the makeup, from going
Yeah.
through it,
Yeah, I know.
going through it, and out the door I went. I didn't stay a long time, I stayed long enough to say hi to everybody, go up to the bar and get my Diet Coke.
Yeah.
I'm ruining my reputation here, Yes, folks, I was drinking diet. I wasn't drinking, and and so I listened to music for a bit, and then came on home and did meditations the rest of the night until bedtime. But so yeah, but that is what we're doing. I don't mind saying, much of my past lifetime is ancient Egyptian stuff, and I am a very high vibrational being, and that's recognized in every lifetime. And so I had tons of curses, just literally curses, and I don't see the way this practitioner does. I don't see the way a Reiki practitioner does. That's not how I see. But I could literally see the faces of the priestesses and all of that stuff that had put the curses on me over. I could see them, and I could feel the energy saying we are not going, and I could feel the Reiki master saying, yes, you will go, and I could feel my own light body saying, yes, it is time, you go now. And it was like, and I was like, yeah, you're out of here, you're out of here. And so it was like all of us together saying, no, this and no more. But until you're at that conscious awareness and you're holding that frequency, you're not ready to do those things. And so that's what we were talking about earlier, where you're ready to do what work you're ready to do and how you do it with your relationships, with your own work, with your twin flame. All of that depends on where you're at on your own journey here. And there is no right place, wrong place. There is no somebody's at a higher level. There's none of that.
We're all teaching the students.
There just is where you are. And I can guarantee you, given as deep into this as I am, as far into this as I am, talk to me 2 weeks from now, and it'll be like, oh man, I didn't know anything 2 weeks ago. I mean, it's because it's exponential. The deeper you get into it, the more. But
the more your consciousness expands.
Right, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But so there's no end to it, and there's no putting the stuff back in the box. There's none of that, and there's no avoiding the journey either. So yeah.
And I want to talk about, I want to hear on the topic you just said when you talked about curses, because people might want to know what curses are in general.
Sure.
As you know, everything is energy and vibration. So, these are different terminologies for different things.
Right.
But a curse is simply someone putting their imprint, their energy on you in some kind of form or fashion for whatever reason, to hurt you or any kind of ill will towards you. They've legitimately detached some of their energy, put that towards you. And you have to be, that's why we have to be aware of our own vibration. We have to know our own energy, and
Right.
then we have to learn how to detect other energies, whether if it's from this life. When we started doing this energetic work like this, we started getting into those generational curses. We started getting into those wounds and stuff that are there, that people then put other energy on us, or just our family in general has those curses. So we
Right.
have to release those energies. These are all energies. So when we say curses, to demystify it a little bit more, is energy. It's people putting their energy, imprinting, putting like hooks into you, and you have to cut those cords, send the energy back to them for the highest vibration. I never send any energy back for the negative, because what does that serve? We're all in this together. For the highest vibration for them to use, and to claim back mine, any energy I had attached to them as well, to claim back mine for the highest vibration of me to use. So yeah, I just wanted to talk on the curses part, since you said something about that.
Well, and some people do it purposefully, and so that is more curse.
Yeah, yeah,
Is purposefully. Um, some people, some people block you, cause energetic disturbances for you, and they're unaware that they're doing it because they're feeling what they're feeling, and they're putting that energy out towards you, and it's not intentional.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
these things that were removed last night, these were intentional.
Intentional. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and I think the things that have been unintentional are the things that I've been able to deal with on my own,
Mm-hmm.
because we're not afraid to face the things. I mean, it's hard and it's painful,
Yeah.
but it's not the same when you're facing the unintentional, because
Mm-hmm.
those are the things that we forgive ourselves, we forgive
Yeah,
others for. I teach that heavily. We got to forgive everything. We've got to
yeah,
forgive everything.
yeah,
There's a difference, though, when you come face to face with someone who is purposefully, even if it's face to face with
yeah,
wherever in the time,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, face
yeah.
to face with someone who purposefully had ill will towards you,
Mm-hmm.
and they had energetic intent for
Mm-hmm.
bad to happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
And words are energy.
Yeah,
That's where, I know it sounds mumbo jumbo and hocus pocus and all that, but people who use words to speak ill towards you, intent towards you, there is power in that, because words are energy.
yeah,
And so, now, do we have power against it? Yes. Clear our energy,
yeah.
keep our energy field intact, and clear our own energy.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Mm-hmm.
but that's about knowing about how to handle relationships. In
Yeah,
a relationship, we inadvertently think, like when our partner or our friend or whoever hurts our feelings, and we think, you know, if they felt that too, then they would understand. Well, we just put that energy back on them without realizing it, because
mm-hmm.
it's not like we really want them to feel what we're
Yeah,
feeling, but our way of processing it is, well, if they could feel that too, they would understand,
yeah,
what
yeah,
we send out, and especially if we say it out loud.
yeah,
And sometimes we do, because even if we're just in a room by ourselves, maybe we don't say it to another person, but we say it out loud ourselves. We're like, if that person only felt what I feel, they'd get it. Well, then
mm-hmm.
we put the energy out there verbally for them to, and no intention
Yeah,
there, no ill will there, but that is where we're not being intentional with our energy, but yet we have sent an energy out
mm-hmm.
that does do harm
Yeah,
if that person's energy field is open.
mm-hmm.
And I'm someone who leaves my energy field pretty darn open, because
Mm-hmm.
of what just because of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have it's closed and I'm protected in
Mm-hmm.
many ways, much more than I ever have been in my life, which is why I'm healthier than I've ever been. But I've always been open because of my very nature.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the other thing, is we have to learn how to protect our and be closed but not closed.
Yeah,
Close
like
our
an open closed system.
Yeah, be closed so we are still emotional, feeling, loving beings,
Yeah.
but not closed, but not so open that we get ourselves hurt.
Yeah.
There's a balance there.
It's yeah, I was just gonna agree. I was just agreeing. It's definitely a balance. Protecting your energy, setting those energetic boundaries, with entities, or with people in general, or anything like that, is very important. That's where it's just really knowing your power and standing in it. It's like knowing, I know who I am. That's why it's so important to travel and learn your own internal universe, learn how you are connected to the grand scheme of things. Because when you start to learning more and more about yourself, you have more confidence in your energy and who you are. And when you have, like, when people ask me all the time, how do you get rid of negative entities and stuff like that? How do you not deal with those entities? Like, I have a protection course on there that tells you everything, that goes over everything about protecting your energy.
Oh,
But to get to the simplest terms of it, know your power and stand in it. When you know your power,
absolutely. Yeah.
holding your frequency and stand in it, those other vibrational beings or entities or whatever else cannot break that barrier. They have to live by the laws of the universe just like everything else does. So sometimes it's the hardest thing, is because I don't know my power. Well, learn about yourself, discover about yourself, pull back what isn't yourself anymore, and discover who you are, so you can stand in your power and stand in your frequency. And that's protecting your energy.
And it's the societal programming that has told us that all of this is mumbo jumbo or witchcraft or bad or whatever, that keeps us from learning this stuff about ourselves. And all it is learning to manage our energetic bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And really, learning to manage it is so much simpler, but you have to learn it before you know that, because really learning to manage it is just letting it in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just letting it in.
Understand.
But until you understand that, until you get to that
Yeah.
point, and again, there is nothing wrong with that. But it's like we talked about this, so simple a child can understand.
Yeah.
Um, sometimes, the better you know a subject, the simpler you can explain it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
First learning something, it's like you explain it, and you may do a great job of
Yeah.
explaining it, but
Yeah.
still it's a kind of a complex explanation.
Yeah.
Then the more and more you explain it, the more and more clear it becomes, because you know it better yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, once you do this long enough, you get to a point where you're like, hold on a second, let me just sit down and just let all this light in. And then it's like whoosh, and it's like, now you get it. You
Yeah.
said it and you said it and you said it. Guess what grounding is? Just sit down, just like we did at this beginning, and just let me come in, because me and you, we're one. We're the same thing. And Mother Earth has invited us here. And so just sit there and just let me come in. And you can feel, then and it just keeps coming and keeps coming and keeps coming, and there is no end to it, because we are omnipresent light beings that want to have an earth tactile experience. Not There's no division, there's no separation. That is who Gabrielle is. She is that light being. And so when you can open up and let that in, it's like, oh, wait a second, what is that? And now integrating that, accepting that, understanding that,
That's where the work comes in at.
that that's
That's the work.
that well, and it takes a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
um yeah, and what we were talking about before was what gratitude really is. And you said turn the camera on, turn the camera on.
Yeah.
So if it's okay, I'm going to go ahead and just say that while it's still with me. While we are letting that light come in, that is unconditional love. Gratitude, religion, society, everything has taught us that the being that created us wants all this reverence and thanking you and all of this stuff. That's not it at all. It is universal law. It's plain and simple. It's energy for energy. Love wanted to feel loved back. If it only put out, man, I taught this last week, and I'm like, and Pam was like, damn, where'd that come from? That was good, when we were done. If you only put out me, 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 all you get back is me, 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 and it gets lonely. That's what love was doing. And so it replicated itself, and it still only put out, it was still the same thing. So then it divided into divine feminine and divine masculine. And so these energies then started putting out creative energies, different energies, yet it was the same frequency, it was still unconditional love, but it was coming back in a new way. And so that's energy for energy. So that's how universal law is. That's what it, okay. Then we dropped into the denser energies. We didn't know that that would happen, because until it happened, until you've had chocolate, you don't know what chocolate is. Okay. Now we're coming out of those denser energies. As we're coming out, we are now able to return energy for energy. So now that we are able to understand, now that we're able to feel, now that we're able to let that light in, all we're being asked to do, we're not being asked to worship anything. We're not being asked to beg and plead, oh, please give me such and such. We're not being asked to attract in all this stuff. All we're being asked to do is let all the light that is us come in with the story that is written, because we have a story, because it knows what it wants to come here and do. It is us. We decided in oneness so that we could keep all of the frequencies up and harmonious, is why we decide the story ahead of time in oneness. That's why we do that. It's for the sacred geometry of it. So we stay within the parameters of unconditional love, and we don't get back in the denseness. So there's a reason for it. It's not so that we boss people. It's not so we boss people around, So we just let that love come in, and then all we do is return that energy back. Don't just take it in and it's all about me.
Yeah.
But okay, how do I want to be treated? That's how I want to be treated. Give it to me. Mm-hmm. And then, but freely return it back. Mm-hmm. And the universe is like, yes, she's got it. She's feeling it. And then we've got this free flow exchange of unconditional love going back and forth. Boy, I can feel the energy right now. And that is how we are existing as one being. And that is what the gratefulness is. It's not, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's, I feel you. I understand. You are unconditional love. You are coming down. You are me. You want this beautiful life. You want to experience this. You want me to experience it so you can experience it. Wow. So we're going to do what? This is, oh, okay, yeah, let's do it. We're going to the zoo. Hot damn, let's go to the zoo. You went, oh, okay, dance? You betcha, let's dance. What else do you want to do? And then you get excited about that, and it feels your excitement. It feels that you're happy. It feels the joy. It feels, and it's like, yes, that's the vibrational frequency that matches, and that comes back up. And so you attract more of it back down. It's not wanting to withhold anything from you, but it is energy. It can only give more, let more in, bring more down. It can only do it if you let it. Because if you're putting out denser energy, it can't let good energy or higher energy or whatever. It's universal law. It's not that it doesn't want to. It's been waiting for us to get into the frequency.
To get on the frequency of, yeah.
To let ourselves love ourselves. Love has been waiting. This is what I fell apart over last night. Love has been waiting for us to let it love us. And before that could happen, we had to love it back. It's not gratitude. We had to simply return the vibration. We had to simply return the vibrational frequency back. I feel it. I want this. What do I want for myself? How do I want to be treated? I want love. And therefore I return the love. And that's what our selves have been waiting for. And we've been talking about what is self-love, what is love yourself, what are we talking about? That's what we're talking about. And that's what the universe has been waiting for us to get up into frequency after having fallen. That's what the twin flames are waiting for. is each of us are waiting for the other one to get into the frequency for love, to recognize love, and to love each other back, and to let each other love each other back.
I
And
love
then
it.
for love to finally love itself.
Yeah.
Because like energies attract like energy. And until you let it, but you can't make it until it is in that frequency and that level of consciousness and accepts it, there's nothing you can do. All the universe, all the universe, all that means is all your light body, your higher self, and everybody else's all their light bodies, all it's been able to do is patiently wait for us to get it and to get into frequency. And so that's what we mean by, are you going through it? Are you growing through it? Where are you at with all of this at conscious awareness? Keep building yourself, keep doing all of this, keep growing yourself. Whether you're talking about your twin flame relationship, whether your twin flame is here or on the other side, you still have this to go through. And or whether you're talking about your family relationships or your own relationship with yourself, because you've got to do this first and let the light in and have that. But you don't have to. Now, there's the mistake about you have to be totally healed yourself, though, before you can do this.
Yeah.
You don't have to be. You can do this together. So, all right. I'm shutting up now. I've said the parts that you wanted me to say. You talk about all of it.
No, I'm glad you brought back up the growing through it and going through it. And yeah, so that's one thing that me and my boyfriend do now. We've been both healing. I've been on this healing journey, healing myself. And like I tell people, you can't change people. And I had to start standing in my vibration. So when you start standing in your own vibration, I tell people one or two things are going to happen. The people around you are going to vibrationally adjust to that. Or if not, then they will leave your life, and you have to be okay with that. So I made a decision with myself is doing this healing work that's how I'm moving in every arena in my life with anybody in my life. And so my boyfriend has started doing the healing work on his own terms and stuff like that. And so now we have this thing that we say, are we going through it or are we growing through it? Every time we have kind of dispute or a little argument or whatever. And the reason why I even say little, because now when we do have those disputes and arguments, it's not like they used to be. At the beginning, they were chaotic as freak because we was in a lot of trauma and a lot of chaos. Yeah. So as we peel back those layers and get to have a more understanding and communicate more among each other, let us know what we're feeling, how things are going on, it's a more calmer path even in the midst of chaos. And so we'll say at the end of it, are we going through it? Are we growing through it? If we're growing through it, we are learning more about ourselves, healing these different aspects of ourselves, talking about it, having a conversation, becoming aware, bringing it to our awareness, and we're going through the process of learning and growing together as a unit. If growing together as a unit. If we're going through it, then therefore it's time for us. If one day we say we're going through it, then that's we know that we're energetically at a standstill and we don't plan on growing through this relationship anymore. So we are going to cut ties and go our own way with the highest vibration for each other. No bad feelings. It's just this is the end of our journey together. So we and I love that, and me and both agree on that, and we love that now. We're like, okay, we had a little dispute right now. We're growing through it. We're learning, and that's the beautiful thing, because when you're able to be in a relationship, twin flame or not, you know what I mean, and you're able to, because in a relationship is going to reflect back, whether it's a twin flame or a partner, whoever else, they're going to reflect back to you. And relationships are some of the most transformational catalysts for us. Relationships in general, yes,
absolutely. That's
yes,
why is because
the mirror, yeah,
there are mirrors. That is that's what relationships serves.
Yeah,
because that's what relationships were started for. That's why the universe, which was all alone, created a relationship, was to have a mirror that could love back.
Reflect back.
Love back. Instead of just sending out its own energy and getting its own energy back, which is empty, which is the void. The void. In the beginning, there was a void. It's just love sending out love back to itself. There's no
nothing to feel, to vibrate that off. And
that's the void. But then whenever there's that vibration then returns back to you. Then you've got the attraction coming, the back and forth going, and that's all. It's all relationships. But so I love that you all are mirroring each other that way. Yeah, go on.
No. It was a little bug. I had to tell it to go. They love. I didn't get to this point now where I'm out here like, look, my energy field is up. Don't come over here with that. Just go over there. Gotta set my boundaries with
Whatever is set, don't bug me.
I know, don't bug me. I like that one. But yes, so I mean, it's just all about, and when you're with someone and you're able to reflect, be that reflection, that conscious reflection for each other, that's where the healing and growth takes place. That's where, like me and you, I was thinking about, we were at the museum, Petrified Forest. Like our energy just matches so well. Like we feed off one another. Want to say this and want to say that, and it's just like back and forth, And that's how partnership, whether it's friendship, whether it's relationship, that's the beauty of having those dynamics. Is not to say get in victim mode. That's what happens. We'll get in victim mode and we'll say, well, this person is saying this to me. This person is doing it to me. Me. You know what I mean? And you have to be aware that people are only going to reflect out what's going on inside of them. So it's not saying that you have to take any abuse that they're doing and just say, well, I understand they have trauma. No. Y'all need to work through this, not just say, oh, this is an excuse. No, we need to work through this. Why is this coming up in you? Are you able to identify? Ask yourself these questions. And one thing I wanted to touch on when you were saying about, I did a post yesterday about your soul purpose and about embodying this light energy, letting our higher self, the blueprint, we live in that energy. So how do you discover your soul purpose? I did a TikTok on 3 different questions to ask yourself, discover your soul purpose. And one of them was kind of like the questions you had. Who am I? Like, who am I? Like, sit for a minute with yourself without any distractions or anything else that is going on. Ask yourself, who am I? And just really sit with yourself. You might get an answer. You might not get an answer right away. But even if you don't get an answer right away, throughout the day, I want you to be conscious and ask yourself in everything that you do, who am I? You're washing dishes, who am I? If you're eating, who am I? Who am I? And then if you see that there might be certain instances inside of yourself, certain things that you don't really find attractive, that you don't want to embody anymore, start asking yourself, well, who do I want to be? And a prime example I gave, because one thing I've been working on with having a toddler and then him being this high vibration, dealing with my own traumas and healing those traumas, I had to ask myself, who am I? I don't want to be this mom that hollers and scream all the time, So I need to look at those energetic wounds and I need to show up in the energy of the mom, the embodiment that I want to be. And you start to embody in that energy, So embody the energy. Who am I? Okay, if that energy doesn't match, well, who do I want to be? Then stand up in the energy of who you want to be. And then the last energy is what magical, what do I want to create in this world? What is the beauty for all? What do you want to bring in this reality? We all have big visions. If we allow ourselves to expand and think, what is the beauty we want to create in this reality for everyone?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how you discover your soul purpose. You have to go in and do the work to ask yourself these questions.
And then be open to what the answers are and accept the answers you get.
Yeah.
That's the thing. There are people that will ask the questions.
Yeah. And don't trust the answers.
Oh, they'll get the answers. And then it'll be, well, I'm being that.
Yeah, I know. Or they won't trust that. They'll get it or be like, no, I'm not being there. Or they won't trust, well, I don't really trust myself. Your intuition is like a muscle. You have to strengthen it. You have to constantly go into that. When your ego is being loud and rambunctious and saying whatever it's saying, go into the subtle voice. Just every time you go into the subtle voice, the subtle energy, you're strengthening your intuition. And before you know it, that intuition gets more louder because the little ego is still going to be there saying they're having this little temper tantrum. It gets louder. It gets louder in the sense of your energy. Not louder in as far as, like being abrasive like the ego. But it just gets louder in the sense of, I know this feels right. I'm going with this. It's just the knowing.
What happens with me is whenever I doubt my own, whenever I don't want to apply it myself, and it's not ever that I don't want to apply. It is really that what if I'm wrong? I'll get, hold on a second. If you were working with someone else, I'm like, oh, never mind. Because I know if I were working with someone else, I know those voices. I know that feeling. I know my intuition. I know it. And I wouldn't doubt it at all. If I were working with you and I got it, I don't hesitate.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, I got it, and I don't hesitate. So I'll get, literally, I'll get, what? Just pretend like it's somebody else. And I'm like, oh, okay, I got the answers. I know the answers, But so that's what I have to do, because when it's with myself, but we do have to be aware of our filters. We do have filters. So we have to be aware. But I know my intuition so well. I recognize it so well. And so whenever that pops in and it's like, no, seriously, really, you're gonna, what if that's not right? Then it comes back around and says, seriously, if somebody else were here and you just got that, what would you do with it? Well, I'd tell them to run with it. I know that I know that I know. And they're like, okay, so why are you doubting it?
Yeah.
Because I was programmed by my family that don't believe in yourself like that. You believe in yourself too much. You're too sure of yourself. You're too. Now, out in public, you're supposed to be that way because you're supposed to perform and you're supposed to be straight A student and you're supposed to be all these things. But here at home, you can't be that confident. Don't believe in yourself. Don't believe in yourself that way here. So when it comes to like dealing with all of you and everything, you see me. I don't back down for a second. You ask me something, I'm like, I know it. I tell you, I don't hesitate. Me alone, I get it, and I'm like, oh, what if that's not right? And literally, I immediately get, what if you weren't by yourself? What if you were answering someone else? And I'm like, okay, all right. And so now I got a feeling that this thing is going to be saying, what? You're not by yourself. Keep going.
It's going to be a reflector for you to bounce off of.
I think this is my new mirror. I think it's saying, forget about a partner in life, that I'm it. Just put me in your pocket. Let's
go. Yes, and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of this work, and that's why we love doing, Twin Flame Tuesdays, and we don't just talk about twin flames. We talk about stuff because everything is related. The whole twin flame journey is related. Yeah,
it all applies.
Yeah.
And I kind of skipped over. I did talk about, like, in the beginning, energy when it replicated itself, and then itself divided into twin flame, divine feminine, divine masculine. We are going back to understanding oneness. Well, that step before we get there is twin flame has got to heal the rifts. And so that is why we have to deal with twin flame so heavily in this incarnation we're in. And one of the things we were talking about earlier, and we can get to this now, is how wherever you're at in the journey is just where you're at. And if your conscious awareness, if your understanding of it all, wherever you're at, if you're at the beginning of it, conventional wisdom is how you're going to handle the relationship. But as you come more and more into understanding your intuition and feeling and hearing, or however it is, if you start getting guidance that is counterintuitive to what societal programming says, or your best friend tells you, or someone else, go with your guidance, go with your intuition, because we're being guided to deal with our twins according to what the individual journey is. And whatever it is that's going to help you heal, help the twin heal, help the relationship heal, whatever that means, that's individualized. So just because so-and-so said, listen, I'd pack that crap up, send it to them, and tell them never to come back or whatever, maybe that is what their guidance is. And maybe that is the conventional wisdom or whatever. But if your guidance isn't that, then that's not what you do. You trust your guidance. So maybe I said that kind of, maybe said that too fast. Maybe want to elaborate on that.
No, you did good. It's just trusting your own internal guidance system.
Yeah.
Sometimes our internal guidance system will go against the grain of what society, because you're living in an energy of knowing yourself. You're living in the energy of not just faith, not blind faith. It's a faith of knowing, even though this physical reality, fear, false evidence appearing real, what is this reality? This physical reality might be showing you a different aspect, but the energy behind it is a different energy that hadn't manifested in this physical reality yet. So you're reading, your higher self is guiding you it's really like a bird. Like, from this human aspect, we only see what's right here in front of us. A bird flies above us and see the higher aspect of it. Your higher self is seeing this higher aspect of it that you might not understand in this physical body, but you're listening to that internal guidance system because you know it knows more than what your conscious mind can understand at this point in time. So it's really about transcending the conscious mind and trusting your superconscious, your higher self, the God within.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's about being able to hold your own frequency, because you've got to be to the point where you can hold your own frequency, and pressure around you, or your understanding of how relationships work. Because if you're not holding your own frequency, if you fall into the energy of, well, I'm letting this person disrespect me, then it doesn't matter what your guidance is. If you fell into that energy of, I'm letting myself be disrespected, then that's the energy you're putting out, and that is the energy you're getting back. So until you're holding that frequency of, hold on, this is my guidance, I'm holding my frequency, I am being authentic to me. Until you can hold that, then yes, you're going to do things differently. But once you can hold that frequency, then it's different. Am I making sense?
No, yeah, you're making a lot of sense. Yeah, yeah, it's different. It's different. When
Yeah.
you hold your frequency, it's because your energy is more. It's the masculine version of it. It's because the masculine energy is more focal point. The divine feminine is more vast because it's the divine of everything of creation. So you're learning how to take this big energy that you are and focus it down, and to be able to will this energy into whatever direction for your highest good and for your blueprint or whatever you came here to do, instead of allowing your internal environment to cause you to be all chaotic and your energy is just splattered everywhere. You don't know how to. The divine feminine masculine works hand in hand. You can't have one without the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
really about balancing those energies within yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, if you're not holding that frequency, and you're allowing yourself to get any type of chaotic energy, and you're putting that out because of, I'm trying to do what my guidance is, or what I think my guidance is. You're right, probably, if you're feeling it, but let's say you think your guidance is, but you're struggling with holding that frequency, then whatever, until you can hold that frequency, you're putting out chaotic energy. You're going to continue to get back chaotic energy. You have truly got to hold the frequency of, I know who I am, why I'm doing what I'm doing. And that doesn't mean that you will get the result you want, because you don't control anyone else. But it does mean that the energy that comes back to you overall,
Yeah.
will be respectful and the right energy for you and for your best and highest good. Because the result we want may not be our best and highest good. It's not going to be our best and highest good if the other person's energy hasn't come into resonance with ours.
And that makes a lot of sense. And but that goes with the law of attraction. That's just the law of attraction bundled up. The energy that you put out is the energy that you come back. So when we first learn about manifesting, we're gonna manifest all this, all these big things or whatever. It's
Yeah.
really about reverse engineering it. You have to let go of that dis energy first. Like, okay, wow, you're aware of law of attraction, manifestation, wonderful. Okay, you're buying the herbs, you're doing everything, you have the crystals and everything. But when your life is starting to get chaotic because you're doing all these things, this is where the magic is, because you're in these dis energies. They're being shaken up to be let go, to be shook up out of you for these manifestations that you have to come on board. So you have to be able to be aware and be in awe of the process. Be in the awe of the process. A lot of times we get so hyper focused on the outcome, the outcome. And a lot of time the way the universe blesses us is, the outcome might even be better than what we actually, like you said, like we've actually, with our conscious mind, can see. We probably can see this big scheme, but it's probably even so much more magical than what we can even imagine. So when we're in vibrationally alignment and we let go of these dense energies, then we are allowing that energy to come to us. We're allowing the love to pour back into us. We are opening up for that love, and that love's coming in the form of people, places, finances, or whatever else. So that's just the law of attraction bundled up in one.
Right. And it explains so much what, um because law of attraction gets confusing because of that. You put out the energy, therefore you get it back. But yet when you're focused to put out the energy, that's what you are focused on. But then you're told stop focusing on it. And so that all gets confusing.
Yeah.
And but once you get, but you have to explain that part to get people to this part, which
Yeah.
is what we were talking about earlier, that it is confusing until you get to a certain point that you have that aha moment.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of like when you're learning a subject and then one day you're just kind of like, wait a second, I know this.
Yeah.
And you don't know how you got there.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah.
It's what it really comes down to is you don't get focused on the outcome, because all you're doing is, okay, how do I want to be treated? I want all the love I can have. Let all the love in and freely return that love back out.
Yeah.
And then, because you don't know what stages everything else around you is at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of the butterfly effect, because of what everybody else is doing, we don't know.
Yeah.
But our higher self, the rest of us sees it, as you're saying. So I've got this. I know our story. I know what we're supposed to be doing. I know what's good for us. I know what we want. I've got it. You're just returning back. What you're returning back is, I trust this process. I trust that this is going to go the way it should. I know you've got this. I know we've got this.
Yeah.
We are one.
Yes.
I love you. You love me. Oh my God, it's Barney all over again.
I know. I love
Barney, yeah. I love you. You love me. So we got our little love fest going here. Yeah, we got our little love fest going here. But when you do that, then whatever your highest and best good is, and maybe it's not what was intended, because that hasn't done what you're doing. What was intended for you, they're not doing it. And there's nothing you can do about that, because until that love comes up into the frequency to love you back, there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Whether it's your kid, whether it's your job, whether it's your best friend, if they're out of resonance with you, they're out of resonance with you. And so you just have to trust that you've got this. Hold that frequency, and what's good for you, and you will be taken there. And they will get there when they get there. And if they get there and you're still in flow with that on your horizontal timeline, great. And if you're not, you're not, And
right. So you have to be okay with either outcome.
Yeah.
We get so hyper focused on the outcome, and that's what we can't release, because we get so hyper focused on, this is what it's gonna be, this is what it is, nothing else. You know what I mean? I'm manifesting this. Okay, you understand it. You know where you're going. You're steering the ship, but don't get hyper focused. When you get so hyper focused on that, you're not allowing for. That's just what you see. You're not allowing with your higher self to bring in all these different nuances of how stuff can transpire. The how is not our concern. We know that it's going to happen and transpire, and the highest good for us. We just keep our vision there, keep our eyes on that, do our part of letting go what no longer serves, so we can be in vibrationally alignment with ourselves for those things that come into our life, to receive that energy, and let go what does not serve us. And sometimes that's the hardest part. We just so focused on, this has to happen. This ain't happened this day. This is, well, you're not trusting. You're not allowing.
And by trusting, so many people get that mixed up. All that means is you're not putting back the, okay, I love you, you love me.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. It's that. It really is a holy crap. It really is. It goes back to so simple a child.
Yeah.
Just go back and watch Barney.
Yeah, I love you. Yeah, let's do a Barney session today.
Let's just go back and watch Barney.
Go watch Barney. Get into the inner child and watch Barney. Everybody was so happy and we're having fun. You remember Barney?
I loved Barney. I didn't watch it, but I loved the little song, and I loved Purple, and I loved it. People hate. People are like, "Oh my God, I'm going to die if I have to watch Barney again." And I'm like, "What is wrong with Barney? Barney's, touchy feely and soft and loving. And what's wrong with Barney? And people are just, So I'm all good with Barney. I can see why this works for me.
I know, and the color purple too. I know why it works for you.
The color purple. There you go. All right, girl. So next week we are going to do our darndest. The plan is we are going to be at the zoo. And our advice has been we should stay at the zoo. We should do this every week at the zoo. And we should talk twin flame in front of a different animal every week. Like the ostrich with her head in the sand and the tiger for the animal coming out. And I mean, just all kinds of roar. And I had, the bear. And, I had all kinds of suggestions about it when I said, I want to go to the zoo. And I'm going to ask Gabrielle if she wants to go. I mean, the suggestions just started flowing then. So.
Yeah, that is on the agenda next week. Hopefully we will. That's the plan. I haven't talked about it with my family yet because we just talked about it before the show. But that is the plan. Next week is for the zoo, and we don't know what animal we'll be in front of. We have to walk the perimeters first and see what energy is guiding us there.
Right. I love zoos though. So yeah.
Me too. I love animals. Yeah.
I do too. Yeah. But I want to go back. I want to go back to the petrified forest too. And we're going back and doing workshops there too. We got to plan that. And so yeah, girl, we're just busy.
We're busy.
We're just busy.
And that's why I tell people. People are like, well, you don't ever text back. You barely. I'm like, I am busy. Like, do you understand? Like, being an entrepreneur itself is busy. It's a lot of stuff. But it's not even just that. It's that you're busy doing something that fuels your soul. Fuels your soul. We are doing our soul's work. You know what I mean? We're doing what our higher self came here to do. And even though sometimes, it's like a lot of work. It's not. Then sometimes not enough hours in a day. It's what feeds us. It's what fuels us. It's what makes us wake up sometime when we haven't had enough sleep to get up and do the next thing. And that's what you should find in life. What fuels your soul, what inspires you, regardless of whatever else is going on around you, regardless of how much chaos, you might have to go through, it still fuels your soul.
I got up this morning. Of course, I had you today. And of course, I've got, more of the website to build. It's not like I don't have stuff. I can sit here.
Yeah.
It's not the stuff I enjoy.
Yeah.
The next thing I know, I get a reach out and it's like, I'm going to be free at 3:30 my time today. You got time? And I'm like, yeah, I got time. Then I get from Canada. Listen, can you fill into such and such for me? And I'm like, well, I can after Gabrielle. Oh, it's going to have to be. And so the next thing I know, it's like, I'm juggling, like, I don't know how many people this afternoon want me to fill in. And it's like, and I just start lighting up because I can work on the website. I can work on a book. I can do whatever. And so I start feeling into, okay, am I supposed to do this or am I supposed to work on the book? And they're like, what's lighting you up?
Yeah.
And I'm like, helping the people. And they're like, you can write the book any day.
Yeah.
You can write the book the day that you sit down and write and the book lights you up. Right now, you have people that need you and look at you, you're beaming because the minute that they reached out, you were like, this is who I am. This is what I do. And they're like, and you're going to the zoo. And so, our lives are beautiful.
Yeah.
And it is hard when you're by yourself, whenever, I nearly teared up, whenever I read that with the stone, I was like, you're not going to believe it. You're going to believe what this says. And you were just laughing. You were laughing because we didn't come across that last week whenever we were reading about it. And you're like, come on, we got to find one of these for you because that stone is not letting you leave, and bless you. And so, we got to go back and see what else I'm supposed to have. Because
I know, right?
I
told you I'm getting this stone next too.
Yes. Well, that's what the person that called me said too. The practitioner was like, I got to have a piece of that. So it's like literally had to pull their car over and said, oh my God, when I sent the picture, like, hold on, I had to pull over. I mean, that's how. So this is going to become a popular, I think we can.
Dolomite. If you forgot the name, it's
Dolomite, right. And it's magnesium, which does all kinds of health things for you too. It makes your hair thicker, your nails thicker, your bones better, helps with your digestive system. I mean, the health benefits of this stone was out of this world.
Yeah.
But and the pink, the soft pink,
yes.
that's Archangel Shemuel opening your heart chakra. Just saying.
Yeah, just say it. Just say it.
Just throwing it out there. Just putting a little Mediterranean pitch out there. Archangel Shemuel. That's all.
I know.
Yeah. All right, girl. You ready to take us out?
Yes. And so if you need help with protection, like I said in the video, I have a protection course. The link will be in the bio in the description. If you need to learn and you want to learn about protecting your energy, setting your energetic boundaries, not letting these negative entities, because right now we've been having spiritual warfare right now. We've been feeling this spiritual energy. We've been feeling it. I don't care if you're awake or not awake or whatever else you want to call it. We've been feeling it on some kind of level. So it's very important these times that we're in to be able to hold your energy, hold your vibration, and not let other energies or entities mess with that energy. So I have a protection course, and that's available with the link in the bio. And in that course, you get a free coaching session with me. So at the end of everything that you learn, you get a coaching session with me to be able to implement, making sure you're implementing all the tools that you learned so you can be able to protect your energy and set those boundaries. So that will be in the bio. And make sure you take us off with the Twin Flame
compilation book. We're still looking for authors, and the website is up. It is akasaliving.net, AKASA living in great big capital letters .net, and there is a place there about the publishing company. The publishing company is solely there to support the nonprofit. We are essentially self-publishing is what it is. We don't own the rights to your book. That is not our intent. But we are there to support you as a self-publishing, and there's protection with that. But there's also, by self-publishing with us, you get all kinds of coaching and energetic support, and there's just so many benefits to self-publishing with us. And that particular company, everything gets donated to the nonprofit. So to continue the work we're doing, because what I do, I just do, and so everything gets donated to the nonprofit. So the Twin Flame compilation video is there, so you can watch it and see all the things that come with that. But you get to do a book without having to write a whole book, because there's going to be a whole lot of other people in it. And all the other authors are going to have an energetic plan for the book. So there's not going to be one plan for how's the book going to be out there in the world, but there's going to be 20, 25 plans for how the book's going to be out there in the world. So that makes it energetically exponential for you. And so there's so many good reasons to do this. And it is not going to be, yes, it is a book you pay to be in. Compilation books, that's how they work. But it's not a book you're going to pay to be in and it be an exorbitant fee. It's going to be one that is affordable, because that is also the goal. Akasa Living is for the vocalization of what it is we all have to say. It is a place to vocalize, because that is where existence was spoken into being, in Akasha. And so it is the publishing company is meant to be an affordable place for more vocalization. So it's a place for authors to get their word out. And so it's not meant to be an exorbitant fee. It's going to be affordable for you. So please do.
You get benefits too, because you get coaching.
Yeah.
Which a lot of publishing doesn't do. So yeah.
Yeah, the coaching you get with us, the attention you get from us, the time you get from us, and then the front end, back end plan, it's you learn how to make the book your business. That's what I mean by the energetic part of it. Is do you want to do speaking engagements? Do you want to do workshops? Do you just want to be in the book and sign some books at your local bookstore? And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what do you want to be anonymous and nobody really know who you are? We can show you how to energetically do that. It is whatever works for you energetically. Do you feel the need to get your story out, but you want to do it privately? I mean, it's got to be about writing the right book at the right time in the right way for the right reason. And that's what the energy management of it is. So it resonates to the right readers and you form a positive energy loop. And so that's what it's about. And that's what Akasa Publishing is about. And so we're all excited about that too. So I'm excited about that part too. So. Yeah. So, okay, girl.
Well, I love you. We love you guys. Peace and love, my twin flame, my spirit guys. Y'all have a wonderful day. Can't wait until next Tuesday.
I know. Bye.